What up, what up, what up, what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Well, you gonna run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all of this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitch was going to, I thought Lil Murder was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Murder was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitch was probably fucking in prison. Girl. Oh, Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Yala Van Zap's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup, clumped in everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. Yeah. Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see Cassie. If you have my DMs, I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue, jock strap or something like that. I'd love to see it too. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
Hey, people. Hey. Hey. What is going on? What is up, people? What is up? It is great to see you all today. Let me say hi to y'all who in here. Hey, Tracy. Listen. Tracy, was that you that started the whole Mod Squad day off wrong today? Not Mod Squad. That was the members only chat. We were started abruptly this morning in the members only chat with this song. I would not do that to y'all. I already made y'all have to deal with women in politics yesterday. I would never make y'all deal with what Tracy Chappelle put in the members only chat this morning. And shout out to the members only chat because we were not prepared. We were not prepared, dear God. Anyway, hey, budgets, weights, boo. Lemon Kush Pepper, hey, boo. Not doing this with you, Tracy. Lily is me, hey, boo. Ciao, Peaches 04. Hey, Peaches 04. I feel like I ain't seen you in a minute, girl. I ain't seen you in a minute. It's good to have you here. Listen, y'all. Tracy just started the day wrong, and it was just all downhill from there. All down here. All downhill. Hey, Janae Boo. What's good, my love? What's good, Janae? Hey, honey. Listen, y'all, it was a mess. Totally a mess. But I'm gonna leave that for members of the chat. Shout out to all of the members over there. Shondo, everybody, as y'all come in the room. Shondo to you and yours. Welcome to the politics of it all, where we'll be discussing some things in and around politics. Listen, the dossier today is not that packed, but we don't have a whole lot of time. I got maybe about 5 or 6 stories here. However, the dossier is riddled and mired in sugar spike moments. I mean, it is totally bereft and gorged in all things sugar spiky. So, with that being said, we'll bring up our good friend to just bring us in correctly. Go ahead, sing us a little ditty. Go ahead.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So long now, I want to fight. That he gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe
Major sugar spike.
they shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Listen, it's just all spiky, spiky, and more spiky. We'll get to y'all's president announcing his reelection so I could lose my goddamn mind on the DNC and the DCCC and all of those people there. But we're not even 10 minutes in. Hey, Willie, what's good, boo? Shondo. We ain't even 10 minutes in. I'm already playing our boy with our Sugar Spike segment intro. So listen, in the great state of Texas, okay, governed by Governor Hot Wheels, here's what we have going on. Let me read this headline for you. Gonna love this one. Texas state agency orders workers to dress, quote, consistent with their biological gender, end quote. A Texas state agency told its employees this month that they must dress in a manner that is, quote, consistent with their biological gender, end quote. A directive that seemed to be a thinly veiled attack on transgender employees. The state's Department of Agriculture laid out the dress policy in an April 13th memo, which was first reported by the Texas Observer. The memo says that, quote, Western business attire, end quote, is appropriate and lays out acceptable business casual items. For men, business attire includes a long sleeve dress shirt, tie, and sport coat worn with trousers and dress shoes or boots. For women, business attire includes tailored pantsuits, business-like dresses, coordinated dressy separates worn with or without a blazer, and conservative closed-toe shoes or boots. Hey, Tracy Wilson. Hey, Harold. What's good? Hall monitors, our time today is going to be 5:25. 5:25 is late bell. Y'all know what to do at 5:26. Let me keep going. It prohibits women from wearing clothing that allows for excessive cleavage, as well as skirts that are shorter than 4 inches from the knee. It also bans certain footwear. Crocs, slippers, and slides are all not allowed. Also not allowed are neon or fluorescent colored. Also not allowed are neon and fluorescent hair colors, as well as lip and other facial piercings. Clothing that is, quote, too tight or too revealing, end quote, is also not allowed. The memo says, and I quote, you are a professional, look like one, end quote. Hey, Miss Kiki, the policy comes as Texas and a number of other U.S. states have moved to attack transgender Americans. There was more anti transgender legislation filed in Texas this year than in any other state. And that's according to a tally that was done by Axios. Hey, Ravine. Um, so let me let me remind you of what we have going on here, okay? This is a state agency. This is not a private institution. This is not a religious institution. This is a state agency. The Texas State Department of Agriculture put out a memo telling people that work in this state entity funded by public funds that they have to dress consistent with their dress that they wear to work every day must be consistent with their biological gender. Now the question then is, what do they deem biological? Hey, Jason. And in the great state of Texas, they've already passed legislation saying that biological gender is what was on your original birth certificate. Let me say that again. Texas passed a law saying that your biological gender is that which was listed on your original birth certificate. And now we have Texas state agencies, government agencies in the great state of Texas saying that you must wear dress, quote, consistent with your biological gender. Well, that technically didn't come from the governor. That came from the Secretary of Agriculture. I'm sorry, their Commissioner of Agriculture. His name is Sid Miller. If you look him up, he looks like what you think somebody making this law would look like. He looks exactly like what you think he looks like. His name is spelled SID, is his first name. Last name is Miller, Miller, and he's the Texas Commissioner of Agriculture. Go look up a picture of him. You'll see him with his white cowboy hat and everything. A mess. A mess. A whole mess. Remember, this is the same state of Texas that you have many black students that in recent years have not been allowed to graduate from high school simply because they had dreads. The same state of Texas. The same thing. You have black student. There was a we did it on this platform. There was the case of this black young man whose parents moved to Texas. I forgot what state they moved from, but they moved to Texas. He had dreads, and they would not let him graduate from high school, and unless he cut his dreads. They would not let him participate in his high school graduation unless he cut his dreads. This is the same state of Texas known to on at athletic events force athletes in the middle of athletic events to cut their hair with scissors. I'm just saying. Hey, Warner. Oh God. Do we need to go back down the road to look at real women in politics? Do we need to? I'm gonna pull that clip and I'm gonna make it a part of our programming just in case for scientific purpose. We're gonna have that. We're gonna have. I'm gonna. crop that out of that video and get that. I'm going to get that. Don't worry, I'll have it for y'all next time. But this is what we have going on in the great state of Texas, governed by Governor Hot Wheels. With all of the ranting and raving that Governor Death Sentence has going on over there in the great state of Florida, the great state of Texas has been doing things under the cloak of darkness. Governor Hot Wheels, as this article so adequately informs you, has been passing legislation, more legislation against our trans brothers and sisters than any other state in these yet to be United States of America. They're here for it. In more news affecting our brothers and sisters in these yet to be United States of America, have y'all been following? Yeah, Texas is years ahead in the race. Yeah, Florida's just trying to catch up. Texas got decades in the game. They're not here to be fucked with. That's why they can lay low and say we ain't got time to try to compete with Florida. They're just trying to catch up to get halfway caught up with where we are. I told you, Tracy, he looks exactly like what you think somebody making these types of laws would look like. Just imagine some racist Texas politician, and the picture will come in your head. Matter of fact, I'll do y'all a solid. I'm not gonna even let y'all envision it. Hold on, I'm gonna put it up for y'all because y'all need to see. Y'all need to see what this fool look like. Y'all need to see what he looks like. Hold on, because I love y'all, and I'm not gonna let y'all not know what this idiot looks like. I ain't gonna let y'all not know what this idiot looks like. So let me give this to y'all, gift this to y'all, so y'all can see what he looks like. God, because y'all need this in y'all life. Y'all, I just want y'all to see what we're dealing with. And there he is. That's him. Does he not look exactly what you thought he would look like? Let me take the banner down so y'all can see the overlay down, so y'all can see. Does he not look exactly like what you thought he would look like? This is who we're talking about. This is the commissioner of agriculture who put out that letter. I mean, what did you expect? What did you expect him to look like? Exactly what you thought. A mess. A damn mess. A goddamn mess. Anyway, let me take him down. But that's exactly not a human code sore. Harold, are you still recuperating as I am from that video that Tracy put in the members only chat early this morning that scared us, the America video? God, not that he looking like Boss Hog he do look like Boss Hog from Dukes of Hazzard. Hey, lovely True Red, he do look like Boss Hog, don't he? Just a whole, he looks like the human version of the Mucinex monster. You know the little green Mucinex monster from the commercials? Don't he look like a human version of that in the face? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But he do give me Boss Hog. He does. Anyway, child, in more news that is spiking. I don't know if y'all have been following this situation in the great state of Montana. So in the great state of Montana, The same thing that we had happen with the Tennessee Three is happening in Montana, at a slower pace or in a non-direct manner with Representative Zoe Zephyr. Representative Zoe Zephyr in the great state of Montana is a state representative in Montana. She is a transgender woman, and she has been very vocal about the laws that they are passing in the great state of Montana with regard to transgender rights, LGBTQ rights, and she's the only trans member of the state legislature. So let me read to you what's going on, because she's basically been silenced and censured. Here's what the Montana Capitol was filled with protesters Monday challenging the muzzling of state Democratic Representative Zoe Zephyr, the state's only transgender lawmaker. Zephyr was banned from speaking since Thursday by Republicans. Let me read this again. Zephyr was banned from speaking since Thursday by Republicans of the Montana House. Some of those people supporting Zephyr were arrested by riot gear wearing police officers after GOP leadership also demanded their silence. As Republicans voted to block Zephyr from speaking, let her speak cries erupted from the gallows. Videos posted online showed a large number of assembled supporters who were seeking to have their voices heard. Some Republicans called for Zephyr's censure after she opposed the governor's amendment to a bill seeking to eliminate gender affirming care for minors. She said the state's GOP lawmakers would have blood on their hands. Zephyr, while defending the rights of transgender Montanans, chided Republicans during debate on several anti-trans bills the body was considering. Quote, if you vote yes on this bill, I hope the next time there's an invocation when you bow your heads in prayer, you see the blood on your hands, end quote. That's what she said to them. Those remarks prompted the Montana Freedom Caucus, a group of ultra-conservative legislators, to issue a letter that deliberately misgendered her and called her comments, quote, hateful rhetoric. So the trans woman who's fighting for the rights of trans women, of trans people across the whole state, is being told that she's the hateful one with hateful rhetoric because she told these bastards that the next time we have a prayer and you bow your goddamn heads, I hope you see the goddamn blood on your hands of all of the atrocities that are about to happen at the hands of you people because of the laws that you're passing. This is what's happening. While the lawmaker wasn't censured, Zephyr has been prevented from speaking in the House. Republican leaders have refused to acknowledge her on the floor for 3 days and have disabled her mic. Let me say that again. This is happening in these yet to be United States of America. Let me read that again. Republican leaders have refused to acknowledge her on the floor for 3 days and have disabled her microphone. Hey, Montrez. 7 people were arrested for misdemeanor trespassing for protesting. Montana's House Democrats called out the arrest and the silencing of Zephyr. Quote, today we saw Montanans show up and engage in the democratic process, and some of those Montanans were arrested. To me, it's an incredible statement in support of the trans, non-binary, and two-spirit community and against the Republican agenda that would strip our neighbors of their basic rights, dignity, and humanity. And that's the House Minority Leader, Kim Abbott. So here's what happened. They're upset. Did we listen? We said this. We said this when we had the situation in Tennessee, that what they would do is these other states, we said that right here. We've been saying this over and over and over. These other states look at what the first state does. Oh, y'all got away with that? Oh, that went through? Oh, okay. We're going to try it over here. And so now you're going to see this kind of stuff pop up all over the country. You have a democratically elected member of that body. You have someone who has been elected by their constituency, and because you don't agree with their opinions or how they think law should go, these the House Speaker refuses, or the person presiding, be it the House Speaker or who's ever presiding at the moment, who's usually Republican, refuses to even acknowledge her on the floor. And they have gone so far as to disable her mic. This is the type of stupidity that we have going on. They disabled her mic. So when the protesters came into the gallows and so forth, they started chanting, "Let her speak," she held up her microphone. The microphone ain't plugged up anyway. Either way, so she might as well hold it up, because they were louder than the Congress, than the representatives on the floor, and the people got mad, and so the House Speaker had the people arrested in the gallows because they were protesting, because they're not allowing someone that they democratically elected to that body to even to speak up for her constituency, to speak up for people who she's the only representative for them. Think about it. If you are a transgender person in the great state of Montana, she is the only person in government that can, I'm just not saying that can represent you, but is the one representative that can speak to your needs and issues. Imagine if you live in a state where you're black and there's only one black person, and they tell that one black person, "Yeah, we're going to just cut your mic off because we don't need to hear what you got to say." Essentially, that's what they tried to do over there in Tennessee with Justin Jones and Justin Pearson. Just a mess. This is what we have going on in these yet to be United States of America. I've been following this case. Like, I was, even before they censured her, I was watching the news where she was speaking out, and she held no punches on them. She laid them out. Now, I ain't gonna lie, Mama was laying them out, because she said, "No, I am here fighting for members of my community. I am here to speak up for those who don't have a voice in this state government. I am the only transgender member of this state government, and I deserve to have a voice." This is what we have going. This is going to start sparking up all over the country. Please be clear. All minorities and marginalized groups, you should be on notice. All minorities and marginalized groups across this country, you need to be on notice that this is happening, and they have laid the blueprint out for all to see in the great state of Tennessee. I'll keep y'all posted on what's going on in Montana with that situation, but it's a mess. It's a mess. In more spiky news, our trans affecting not just our trans brothers and sisters, but drag queens across America. Hey, Fran J. Hey, boo. So, earlier today, hundreds of drag queens marched on the Florida Capitol to protest anti-LGBTQ legislations. Hundreds of drag, this is coming from thehill.com. Hundreds of drag queens, drag performers gathered Tuesday in Tallahassee, Florida, to protest a slate of proposed bills that would roll back the rights of LGBTQ people. Because Florida's still trying to catch up to Texas, so they're, passing a whole bunch of stuff so they can try and catch up. Let me keep going. More than 300 drag queens and allies on Tuesday marched to the steps of the Florida Capitol building to protest legislation that will bar certain drag performances, as well as state bills that will restrict gender affirming health care for transgender youths and bar transgender athletes from sports team consistent with their gender identity, among others. The LGBTQ advocacy group Equality Florida, which helped organize the event, said Tuesday's protest is the largest of its kind. Organizers said that the protest is intended to educate the public about the quote rich history of drag as a form of cultural artistic expression suitable for all ages, end quote. The demonstration also aims to warn Florida officials and the public of the proposed law's unintended economic consequences. Quote, anything from local brunches, theatrical productions such as Shakespeare or the Mrs. Doubtfire musical, to major concerts featuring performers like Madonna or Sam Smith could all be canceled by venues who fear elements of drag will be in violation of the law, end quote, organizers said. At least 10 bills targeting LGBTQ rights have been introduced this year by lawmakers in Florida, according to the ACLU, including Senate Bill 1438, a measure that would allow the state to fine, suspend, or revoke the food and beverage licenses of businesses that admit minors to an adult live performance, end quote. Such performances under the proposed law include any exhibition or other presentation in front of a live audience that depicts or simulates nudity, sexual conduct, sexual excitement, or specific sexual activities, or other lewd conduct. The measure mirrors recent steps taken by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' administration to crack down on drag performances in the state. In July, DeSantis filed a complaint against a Miami restaurant that hosted a drag event with children present, citing a 1947 state Supreme Court ruling that men impersonating women in a suggestive and indecent fashion constitutes a public nuisance. DeSantis cited the same ruling in a complaint filed last month against the Hyatt Regency Miami Hotel after it hosted a Christmas-themed drag show in December. Minors were permitted attend a attend a drag queen Christmas if they were accompanied by an adult. A similar complaint filed against the Orlando Philharmonic Plaza Foundation after it hosted the same drag event. Darcel Stevens, a drag queen and LGBTQ rights activist from Florida who helped organize Tuesday's rally, said in a statement shared with media ahead of the protest that the current slate of legislation under consideration in Florida is, quote, cruel, unjust, and full of hypocrisy. And it goes on to give statements. But listen, this is happening, people. We've been screaming it. Go back. Go back. Listen. Go back to 2020. In the year of our Lord, 2020, I came on this platform when we saw the things that were going on in the great state of Texas. This is before Governor DeSantis and any of these other states even cared. And I saw what was going on, and I said, hey, minorities across America, y'all need to be put on notice. They're coming after you. This is before they started with all of the. This is the first time I realized what was going on was when Texas first put the bill. One of the first indications was there was a bill that Texas did where they made it a crime. No, I'm sorry. When they removed all of the abortion clinics out of the state. And it was at that time that I said they are going on notice. It was election cycle. And I said at that time, minorities across America. These states are here for it. How we knew it when they got that perfect storm of fuckery that they call a United States Supreme Court, that Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus that they have going on down there to the SCOTUS building. We knew the writings were on the wall. And what happened was, instead of galvanizing early, instead of beating the streets early, a lot of minorities sat back and said, nothing to see here. Oh, we're concerned. Oh, we're concerned with conspiracy theories about COVID. Oh, we're concerning ourselves with the fact of whether or not we should get vaccines. Oh, we're concerned about they won't let me out the house because they want to stop everything else. Meanwhile, across the nations in Capitol buildings from sea to shining sea, although they weren't officially meeting in the Capitol buildings, they were still meeting via Zoom, and they began passing legislations. And when the first couple states started to get them passed, then they there was the blueprint. The problem is, Jason, these aren't bars where these things are happening. This is at a hotel, where you're in a hotel ballroom and they say, oh, we're gonna have a drag queen, they just have a drag show. These aren't bars. These are hotels that are being told, we're taking your food and beverage license. These aren't bars. And I got a news flash. A place like Chili's technically is a bar. And what do you see at Chili's? Children. Technically, Hooters is a goddamn bar. Twin Peaks is a goddamn bar. And at Hooters and Twin Peaks, I can see women's labia coming out of them damn shorts. I got titties flailing everywhere. It's sexual innuendo and content all over places like Twin Peaks and freaking Hooters. Nobody bats an eye. There are children all over the place. Nobody goes, oh my God, the children. I see her labia hanging out of her shorts. Nobody bats an eye. Nobody. It's also very hypocritical, since we're going down this road with some of these people. Those people old enough to remember back in the late 80s, early 90s, go look at the entirety of the heavy metal music genre. If that wasn't some drag back in the 80s and early 90s with a lot of these heavy metal bands, I don't know what the fuck drag was. You're talking spandex, heavy makeup, leotard, wigs, and everything else. If screaming to pitches that only Leontine Price can probably hit. Now, if that wasn't a goddamn drag show, then I don't know what was. But now all of a sudden, and there were children at those shows, let's be clear. And some of those people were screaming about devil worship and all types of what could be considered sacrilegious things. See, it's this level of hypocrisy for me. And you got Governor Death Sentence pointing back to rulings from 1947. This is what we have going on. You are basing laws, edicts, rulings for the great state of Florida, Governor Death Sentence, based on adjudications from 1947. You think the world has changed a little since 1947? I mean, if we're going back to 1947, we're in the middle of Jim Crow. It's kids all over Vegas, budgets waits, and Vegas has open brothels, open prostitution and brothels in the great state of Nevada, city of Las Vegas. Nobody bats an eye. Nobody even fucking blinks. See, this is why you cannot believe anything that these people are saying. They don't give a shit about children. They don't. They proved that with Sandy Hook. They don't care about children. Children. They don't care about children. They don't care about protecting kids. They care about protecting their white supremacy and white privilege. If you do not fit into, now it's turned from a box or a square to a pentagon. It used to be a four-sided square where you had to meet all four sides, male, white, Christian, heterosexual, but there's a fifth side now because now it's a pentagon. It's a star, and that's why we have stars all over our flag, because you have to fit the 5 points of the star. What are the 5 points of the star? I'm glad you asked. White, male, Christian, heterosexual, and the fifth one, rich. Stop me when I'm lying. You have to fit the 5 points of the star: white, male, Christian, heterosexual, and rich. This is what I'm telling you. But you got marginalized groups that's with their heads in the sand, thinking that they only need to think about themselves and nobody else. And what I keep saying, I've been saying this year after year after year. When you hate on another marginalized group, please be clear that you are next on the docket. When you decide that it's okay for them to pass laws to hate on, to be intolerant of, to discriminate against, to um, make subjective any marginalized group, you have said it's open season on your marginalized group, on your minority. You have made it open season. In more news, where you people want to take us back in time, since we're going back in time, let's travel to another great state, the great state of Alabama. In the great state of Alabama and Mississippi, you know what happened yesterday? What was yesterday? Let me just ask you that. Yesterday was a typical Monday, wasn't it? Most of us just went to work. Like there was nothing that, I don't know of any official, anything that I need to celebrate. We were at work yesterday, right? Oh no, not in the great states of Alabama and Mississippi. Because in the great states of Alabama and Mississippi, what did we have? I'm glad you asked. In the great states of Alabama and Mississippi, their government offices were closed Monday. For what reason, you may ask? Confederate Memorial Day, as efforts have stalled to abolish state holidays that honor the old Confederacy. So they decided that they would, oh, yes, government buildings in this state will be closed in honor of Confederate Memorial Day, because we are still honoring those people who seceded from the government, those people who said, give us slavery or give us death. Otherwise, we're making our own country. Oh, yes, this is the only country where we celebrate people who decided to defect, people who wanted to overthrow the government. Let me read this. Legislation has been introduced in the ongoing Alabama legislative session to remove, alter, or rename Confederate related holidays. But the effort has so far gained little traction. Camille Bennett, the founder of Project Say Something, an organization that has worked for the removal of Confederate monuments in Alabama, said the determination to keep Confederate holidays comes at the same time Alabama lawmakers push legislation banning so called divisive concepts from being taught in state classrooms and diversity training for state workers. So y'all want to ban things that you all label as divisive concepts in the classroom and want to and eliminate um, these things in diversity trainings in at state employees for state employees, but you don't think the entirety of that thing y'all call the Confederacy was divisive. It was a whole fucking civil war, but that's not divisive. Celebrating Confederate Memorial Day in states that has the highest population percentage wise of black people in them is not divisive, is not a divisive concept, but telling people that they need to be sensitive to the fact that there are people different from you is divisive. I'm just trying to understand where we're going. Tracy, your birthday tomorrow? Tracy, I didn't know your birthday was tomorrow. Oh God, if Tracy birthday tomorrow, I can only imagine what Tracy gonna have going on. Tracy, what you got planned for this good birthday tomorrow? My ex, the Bay. Those of you who've been on my channel long enough, y'all know who the Bay is. The Bay's birthday is tomorrow, so I gotta make sure I do something for the Bay. See if I can call up the Bay. Ciao. I mean, it's a mess. This is what we have going on, people. Oh, that's what you got planned for tomorrow? Woo! That's all you want for your birthday? That's all you got planned for tomorrow? I see you. Oh, man. Well, happy belated birthday, Budgets. We was here yesterday. I didn't even know it was your birthday yesterday. Put a Shondo in the chat for Budgets Waits, whose birthday was yesterday. All of the Taurus birthdays. Listen, what I know about Taurus is this. Let me take a swig of the end of my sunny delight before I say this. A good Taurus will fuck the soul out of you. Get up, put on their clothes, walk away as if nothing happened, and you are laid in the bed, soul snatched from your body, writhing in ecstasy, rethinking every part of your life. And them bitches ain't even gave it a second thought and done moved on with life and is on to the next one. That's why y'all dangerous for us Capricorns. Cause see, we'll be done killed you bitches. You hoes, you Taurus bitches and hoes, we'll be done gave y'all anthrax. Yeah. Us Capricorns, we keep vows of anthrax for y'all. We don't even let people in our space like that. We don't even let people in to get that close to us where we can be affected. But Tauruses have the innate ability to slip their way in. They're one of the few signs that can slip their way in on a Capricorn, and that Capricorn let them in, and they just blow it all up, and then that's how you end up getting stabbed. Actually, a Capricorn, we won't stab you because that's a little too overt. We like to be real covert about it. That's how you end up with ground glass. That's how you end up with anthrax. That's how you end up with strychnine and shit. Do you hear me? strict 9, because we'll fuck you up. Because we don't even let you in like that. Capricorn, y'all know us Capricorns. We'll tell you, we don't let people in like that. We don't break this shell. But Tauruses are one of the few signs that have the ability to slide up in there and let our guard down, and then these hoes go and snatch your soul, have you in fits of ecstasy, and then act like nothing happened. I just want to move on to the next one. Oh no, the fuck you won't. You won't be going to nobody else, bitch. Now we're not gonna do no stalker stuff. That's a little too easy. That's a little too out there. We're gonna be real clean about it. Ain't nobody gonna know. We're gonna take you out, and nobody will ever know. Nobody will ever see it coming. And we're gonna help the people. We're gonna grieve and cry with the people. We're gonna mourn for you. We're gonna hold people, tell them to cry on our shoulder. I know she was so good. Oh, he was such a good person. Knowing good and hell well that we were the whole reason why you died. That strychnine that we put daily in your oatmeal. Oh, you need a drink, boo? No worries. I got you. Get some of this good anthrax. That's what we're gonna do. I'm just saying. That's what we're gonna do. Hey Earl, what's going on, Earl? I'm just saying. But yes. Did y'all put a Shondo in the chat for Budget's Waits whose birthday was yesterday? Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, boo. Tracy birthday tomorrow. So y'all know she finna be real. Members only chat, just be aware that listen. In honor of Tracy's birthday, in the members only chat, Jason, prepare yourself because there's going to be meat, and more meat all up and down the members only chat. You may not want to open up your members only chat tomorrow while you're at work because I'm telling you now, in the members only chat, it's going to be meat, and more meat. Tracy, I got you, girl. I'm going to send you some stuff in the members only chat, and we're going to have a good time in the members only chat tomorrow in honor of Tracy's B-Day. Do it like it's your B-Day. Do it like it's your B-Day. Shout out to the members. Anyway, oh, it's already after the hall up. Listen, the late bell rang. Y'all monitor these people who coming up in here. The late bell done rang. Anyway, so we got Mississippi and Alabama still out here celebrating Confederate Memorial Day. Confederacy Memorial Day. Jason, don't tell me nothing. I gave y'all titties. I gave y'all cooter. I gave y'all ass. Y'all had a whole smorgasbord on Saturday during Silly Saturday. I was like, oh, this is a look. I even told myself as I was preparing it on Saturday, Jason, I was like, this is a whole lot of cooch. This is a whole lot of titties. This is a whole lot of ass. There's a lot going on. I was kind of cringing as I was getting it ready on Silly Saturday. I'm like, is this too much? I kind of felt like it was too much. I'm gonna have to pull back on as much, the titties, tatas, and ass, and cooter. We had a whole lot of cooter on Silly Saturday. We're gonna have to monitor how much. We need more meat. Give us the meats. Anyway, we got that going on in the great state of Alabama, Mississippi. And while we're on the great state of Mississippi, bury you under the state flower, which is illegal to dig up. Right. Buried you right under the state flower, which is illegal to dig up. Be looking for them and all. Ooh, make sure y'all don't go over there. That's the state flower, baby. We don't want to go to jail. Jason, ain't know what you did or I did right. We ain't do right. So we talked about this briefly a couple weeks ago. I think about a month and a half ago. We talked about this like end of February, early March. We talked about this. So in the great state of Mississippi, since we're staying over here in the Bible Belt, they passed House Bill 1020, a law that was signed into a legislation that was signed into law by Governor Tate Reeves over there in the great state of Mississippi. So what this law does is it basically turns us back into Jim Crow. People are calling it the Jim Crow law. Why? Because what it does is only for the city of Jackson, Mississippi. They are, well, let me read this. I want to read this to you, and then we'll go from there, because there are lawsuits now that people are there that people putting in the court about House Bill 1020 in Mississippi. Let me read this to you. A second lawsuit has been filed challenging the legality of controversial House Bill 1020, which creates a separate law enforcement and judicial district in parts of Jackson, Mississippi, controlled by white state officials instead of leaders elected by citizens of the majority black city. Let me read that again, because you heard that right. Jackson, Mississippi, mind you, is the capital of Mississippi. Let me read this to you again. A second lawsuit has been filed challenging the legality of controversial House Bill 1020, which creates a separate law enforcement and judicial district in parts of Jackson controlled by white state officials instead of leaders elected by citizens of the majority black city. The mayor of Jackson has been black for some time now because it's a majority black city. The current mayor is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, the greatest fraternity in the world, and quite a looker if you look him up, Mayor Lumumba. Anyway, but let me continue to read this. Where did I leave off? I got distracted talking about Mayor Lumumba of Jackson, Mississippi. The lawsuit filed Monday alleges House Bill 1020 violates the Mississippi Constitution. On Friday, just hours after Governor Tate Reeves signed the legislation into law, a separate federal lawsuit was filed saying the bill violated the United States Constitution. The lawsuit filed Monday claims the state constitution mandates that circuit judges, such as those provided in the bill, should be elected rather than appointed. The new law gives Chief Justice Michael Randolph the authority to appoint 4 judges to hear criminal felony cases in an existing capital complex improvement district that will be expanded to cover more of the wider and wealthier areas of Jackson. Quote, we have elected our circuit judges in Mississippi for more than 100 years. The Mississippi Constitution expressly requires us to do so. End quote, reads the lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of 3 Jackson citizens by the Mississippi Center for Justice, the ALCU of Mississippi, the MacArthur Justice Center, and Legal Defense Fund in Hinds County Chancery Court. The lawsuit says that the fact that judges will be appointed for a temporary period of time until the end of 2026 does not mitigate the fact that House Bill 1020 is unconstitutional. It goes on to argue the law is unconstitutional because judges previously appointed by Randolph are currently hearing cases in Jackson. Quote, under House Bill 1020's court packing scheme, the power of the 4 duly elected judges on the court will be diluted. Only half of the judges will be elected by the Hinds County voters, as required by the Constitution. The citizens of Hinds County will be just as likely to go before a circuit judge who is not elected and who may have no connection to the county or its residents as one who is. House Bill 1020 also creates a separate court to hear misdemeanor cases and preliminary hearings in criminal cases. The state lawsuit claims that court is unconstitutional because judges for such courts are typically appointed by elected municipal office officials or elected instead of being appointed by the chief justice. The issue was combustible during the recently completed 2023 legislative session because Jackson has an African American population of more than 80%, making it the blackest largest city in the nation. The bill received national and international scrutiny. For those people who haven't been following it, this is what happened. Jackson, Mississippi is the largest majority black city in the country. It is 80% black. 80%. Okay. And I mean, not Antoine. Harold, you want to see some cute black mayors? The mayor of Jackson, Mississippi, the mayor of Baltimore, Maryland, the mayor of I believe the mayor of Huntsville, Alabama is also, just look them up. You'll thank me later. Anyway, so here's what happened. It started by some white people gentrifying a small area in Jackson. I told you it's 80% black. And they took an area and gentrification started to happen. The area was deemed close enough to the state capital where they could say, oh, this is governed by this is in the same area as the state capital. So regular Jackson PD, y'all law enforcement don't have jurisdiction. We're going to annex them into the same jurisdiction of the state capital, which has its own law enforcement and has its own boundaries, as the Capitol building, I should say. So now those white people who lived in that area weren't subject to those black police officers from Jackson Police Department. They also, if they violated any crimes or anything, they then, yeah, Fran J, I told you wasn't being, I'm just saying. Birmingham, oh yeah, Birmingham. Trying to tell you, I'm trying to tell you. Oh, try. Fran J, we here. Anyway, so what happened was these white people living in a majority black town wanted no parts of having black people have any jurisdiction over them, black people having any authority over them, or having to listen to anything that black people had to say in this majority black town. So the white legislature of Jackson, Mississippi decided to annex that neighborhood of Jackson, Mississippi into what was considered the state capital. Problem is that's not legal, but the state legislature, because these were rich white people who were in the pockets of the state legislature, the state legislators, who's majority white, majority Republican, passed a bill anyway that will allow them to be annexed. Then they said, well, aren't we still under the authority of the judges if we commit any crimes? Because circuit court judges, as they said in this article, are elected. That's why when you're going through the election cycle, you see these, election posters and placards for circuit court judges. People don't realize how important these circuit court judges are. Circuit court judges are the ones who deal with all of the misdemeanors. And when you go to court, when you get arrested and you go to court and you have to sit in front of the judge locally, when you go to the county jail and all of that stuff, the people who you have to go report to is a circuit court judge. These people are duly elected by the members of that particular municipality, and they have to come from that municipality. So they are adjudicating on the people that are their peers, that are deemed their peers, because they're from that area. So fast forward, these white people in this new gentrified area of Jackson didn't want any parts of that. I told you they wanted no parts of black people having any adjudication over them. So they got the legislature to put in this proviso, this law that said, oh, House Bill 2020 says that these sections, and it just kept on getting bigger. The annexations or the law just kept on stretching because what happened was they want more gentrification to happen in Jackson. What's happening is they want Jackson, the capital of Mississippi, not to be 80% black. And so what they want to do is they want to start gentrifying, moving the black people out of Jackson and moving more white people in so that they could take back control of their capital, of the capital of Mississippi. So they're starting to pass these. This bill was designed to say, yeah, we're going to create our own judicial system for Jackson, Mississippi, as well as our own law enforcement, and usurp the authority of the circuit court judges and the Jackson PD. Because white people don't like when black people have authority over them. That's what this is all about. It's unconstitutional and illegal, but the bill passed anyway, and it was signed into state law. And that's why you have all of these lawsuits. This should be a cautionary tale. This should be a cautionary tale for a lot of other majority black cities. White people never like it when black people have nice things. They like to steal it. We have a large black city in Miami, the city of Miami Gardens. Miami Gardens is a predominantly black, I believe the numbers on Miami Gardens is somewhere in the upper 70s, 80s. I can look that up real quick. Let's see. Percentage of black people in the city of Miami Gardens. Miami Gardens is a right now in the city of Miami Gardens, it's about 70% black. 69.63% black is what you have. And that's about 70% black. That's a majority black city. Hey, Monk Chibu. Hey, Danny. And what happens is it's a thriving city. The Dolphin Stadium is in the city of Miami Gardens. And what the county legislature did is they annexed out the Dolphin Stadium and made it not a part of the city of Miami Gardens, even though the whole city of Miami Gardens engulfs all of the Dolphin Stadium. But this 5-block radius surrounding the Dolphin Stadium is not considered city of Miami Gardens because they didn't want the millions and millions of dollars in taxes that stadium has to pay to go to this majority black city. And you see this happens over and over and over in black municipalities around the country. When and if you have a black city, a city that the electorate is majority black, overwhelmingly black, and that city has something that they want, or that city has something nice, these people will say, yeah, we don't like black people having good things, so we're going to tear it down. And they may not do like they did back in the 1800s and 1900s, where they were basically bombing cities. They were basically taking over cities. They were burning them to the ground, turning them into lakes and stuff like that. Hell, we have that all. There's no shortage of things that happen like that. The new way to do it is the process you have going on in Jackson, Mississippi. They'll put one nice thing in that city, and that's where the gentrification start. Didn't they build that new football stadium in Inglewood, Krispies? I believe that new football stadium in LA was built in Inglewood, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know if I'm correct. But what they'll do is they'll build the first thing that's really nice, and then they'll gentrify everything around that one nice thing, and they'll start to expand out because they're trying to get you people out of there. Because they said, oh, we like that. Oh, y'all think y'all got your own place? Nah, let us have that back. And you see it, that's the way that they do it. That's the blueprint. They'll build, okay, That's the blueprint. Thank you, Crispy. So that is where they built the new stadium. They'll build something really nice and pretty and shiny, and then they'll gentrify the surrounding neighborhood and they'll start to expand out. And you'll start to see the property values go up, the property taxes go up. If you're renting, then your rent goes up because the owner has to pay higher property taxes and so forth, and they start to push you out anytime you have a majority black city. What they're doing this time is a hostile takeover where they're saying government entities no longer have control in their own jurisdictions. We got to watch out for these things because these things happen all the time. The Dallas Cowboys, I call it Jerry's World, play in Arlington, not Dallas. They're gentrifying all over, property values going. Exactly. That is what they do. What black people will do is black people will find us an area nobody was thinking about, nobody was bothering. It's over here, y'all ain't want it, so we take it and we make it ours and we make it nice, and y'all look and say, "Oh, that looks real nice. Yeah, let us have that. You don't need that. Let me get that." And so now the new way, the 21st century way to do this is exactly what you see happening in Jackson, Mississippi. Exactly what you see happening in a lot of cities where they'll build this shiny new building. It'll be a football stadium, a new basketball arena, or something new, a new art center in there. And you're wondering why are they building it in this black neighborhood? I'll give you a perfect example in Miami. They built a shiny new art center right in the middle of the outskirts of Miami, where it was on the other side of 395, which was basically over town. And they said, "Oh, we built that. Yeah, let's start gentrifying all around it." And so that whole Biscayne Boulevard corridor going all the way down damn near the Miami shores, they basically have gentrified that whole thing and pushed all of those communities out, and the land value went through the roof, and you can't even afford to stay there. You might have grew up there. hmm So those of you all living in the majority black cities, look and see. Right, eminent domain. You know they love using eminent domain. They love that one. They're not as brazen nowadays as if eminent domain. They used to use that a lot. Uh, Pre-civil rights era and during the civil rights era to displace a lot of black people. And black people started getting hip to the game because there are ways to stop eminent domain, but so they're not as brazen. They still use it, but they're not as brazen about using eminent domain as they were maybe about 60 years ago, 60, 70 years ago. So yeah, watch out for that. We'll be monitoring the situation in Jackson because that's a real situation there. In other politics news, y'all's president announced today that he's running for re-election along with Kamala. And by him announcing that he is he's up for he's going to run again, that presents a number of problems. The problem is, well, here's one of the first problems. You beat me to the punch, Tracy. The problem is he's not well liked. His polling numbers are not good. Normally, when you're going into re-election, people's polling numbers are at their peak usually if they're running for re-election. Polling numbers out off the charts. His polling numbers are not well received. I was looking at a poll. They said only 6% of America wants to see a rematch of Biden versus Trump. 6%. And that was a cross section of Republicans and Democrats. We've been screaming from the rooftops that we have to, who's going to really garner the Gen Z votes. Having two geriatrics at the top of the ticket doesn't inspire even my generation to vote, much less Gen Z. It's depressing. And another thing that right, Marty, 6%. Another thing that is scary is Biden has Democratic people that are running against him. There is a primary. There's going to have to be a primary because there are, registered Democrats that are running for president as well. The DNC and the DCCC have said that they are not going to have, as of right now, they don't plan to have any debates for the primaries. They don't plan to have any debates. Because why would you want the electorate to really be informed of the real policies or the real opinions on these people's policies? I mean, as much as the debate is going to give you these people's real opinions on policies or things that affect America, but still, at least give the illusion that you're going to try to make this equitable. You could at least give the illusion. They're not going to even give you the illusion. They have already said we don't plan to have any debates for the primary. If these people want to run against Joe Biden, they surely can, but we ain't going to give them no platforms with which to showcase themselves because they're afraid that that Skeletor may, crumble and die. What I'm afraid of is Biden's second term being like Ronald Reagan's second term. Remember Ronald Reagan's second term? He was battling Alzheimer's and couldn't do anything. Like Ronald Reagan's second term, bruh didn't even know what day of the week it was. Biden is one tumble down the steps of Air Force One from Kamala Harris being your next president. Right, Jason. He didn't even remember he was a Republican. It was ridiculous. Like Biden is just moments away. Oh God. Here you go. Here you go, Tracy. Here you go. Anyway. But he was a shell of himself. Like he didn't know what day of the week it was. Didn't know his name. Couldn't even identify his wife. Well, I think that was Nancy Reagan was his second wife. But he couldn't even identify his wife. Just a mess. This election cycle is about to be an entire shit show. However, what I hope that what we need to focus on, I'm not going to focus my attention this election cycle on Biden. I'm and Kamala. I'm really not. There are too many other things that we need to focus our attention on. There's a lot of local seats and statewide seats that people need to concern themselves with. If you look at how these state legislatures are out of goddamn control, they have lost their minds in these state legislatures. What the electorate has to go out and do, Washington is going to do Washington. But right now, we have to take control of these state legislatures. We have to start to put a dent in these state legislatures and let these buffoons know we are not going to sit idly by and let you people send us back to the 1600s. Like, we're not going to sit idly by and let you people in these state governments send us back to the 1600s. So, our most pressing concern in this election has to be taking back control of these state houses and these states senates and these state senates. We have to. There has to be a concerted effort for the electorate to say, this shit is enough. Enough is enough. It's not enough for you just to protest and say, we need to have control of our bodies. It's not enough for you just to do that. What you have to do is you got to put some teeth behind it and get these rat bastards out. Now, I know it may be hard because a lot of these states have been gerrymandered, extremely gerrymandered. However, we gotta start to chip away at it. We have to put some teeth behind our emotion. We just can't be emotional. We have to be strategic. And these bastards want us back in the 1600s. And until, listen, Gen Z, we got to get out there and vote. This ain't about Washington. Let Washington be Washington. We got to get some control of the states and municipalities with which we live in, because these are the people who affect us the most. Hey, Sharice. Hey, Sharice. It's only 6:19. Hall monitors. Hall monitors. You know I love you, Sharice. You my boo. Hall monitors. Sharice know I love her. But yeah, we have to take back control, people. We have to do that. We absolutely have to do that. We've today we've chronicled many laws. Um hey, Volvo popping out the bushes at 6:19. Hall monitors. Hall monitors. Oh man. So yeah, I am not enthused. The Democratic Party likes to get shit wrong. Let's be clear. If we're expecting these people to get things right, we have chronicled so many instances where they have dropped and fumbled the ball. If the Republican Party wasn't so full of ass clowns and dick fucks, the Democratic Party would be getting blown out of the water. But the Republican Party is historically inept, like out of touch, just categorically out of touch. So, um, so that happened. Republicans, racists, and bigots around America are apoplectic at the firing of their boy Tuckums. We're over here singing happy days are here again. The sky above is clear again. Let's sing the song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. Not that that means that Fox News is going to stop being Fox News. I mean, let's be clear. They ain't going to stop doing what they do. But listen, at least he gone. At least he gone. That's one gone. So I'm just saying. So, um, The last thing I want to tackle before we get up out of here, I know we got to get ready to go over there to really be. So we'll definitely get ready to go over there to my sis, really be. We want to mark the death yesterday. I believe it was last night of Harry Belafonte, who died at the age of 96. Um, he died at the age of 96. A spokesperson said that Belafonte um, died at his home on the Upper West Side of Manhattan from complications related to congestive heart failure. He was 96 years old. The man lived a long life, a full life. He and his efforts during the civil rights era, his he was very instrumental. He and others during that time who had a platform, who had money, who had influence, were very instrumental in funding a great portion of the civil rights era. The traveling of our civic leaders and our civil rights era leaders was not cheap. These people, there was money involved, and the influence of Harry Belafonte, his monies, and with him and a lot of our musicians and athletes and artists who lended their name, their voice to that era, we would not be here where we are today without them. So we absolutely celebrate him and all that he did. He absolutely, along with Sidney Poitier, they both, because of their influence in Hollywood, their voices made Hollywood look toward the civil rights movement. Mr. Belafonte, in Miami, we have a center right on MLK Boulevard. We have the Belafonte Tokosi Center in my neighborhood where I grew up in Miami. It's a park, and it's a center in the middle of the park where he came and helped christen that Belafonte Tokosi Center. And it's an outreach center for the community right in the heart of the Black community on MLK Boulevard in Miami, Florida. And he lived a long life. He lived a long life. We celebrate him and all that he did, and his impact on this country, his impact on this nation. So he was a uh, he was a progressive before they coined the term progressive. So we speak his name, we celebrate him today. And he opened doors for so many, so many. He and Sidney Poitier and many others during that time. So yeah, yeah. So may he rest in peace. Our thoughts and prayers to his family. We'll keep his family and loved ones in our prayers. Black America, we should be draped in mourning for a pioneer, icon, and trailblazer like Harry Belafonte. So we definitely celebrate him before we get out of here. So that is all that I have for you today. We're about to get out of here. Thank you to those who donated to the platform yesterday. There were those of you who donated yesterday to the platform. I am grateful to that. Thank you all. I don't like to list names because I don't like to dox people, but thank you all for your kind contributions and donations to the platform. We'll be back. I told y'all that I would give y'all, I owed y'all some politics of it all. So I'll probably give you maybe one tomorrow. I'm not doing nothing on Thursday. I'm telling you, because I'm going to go see Janet on Thursday. So get over it. We're going to go see my queen, Janet Jackson, Thursday night. So, with that being said, I got y'all tomorrow. It might be a politics of it all, or it might be a run your mouth. But if it's not a politics of it all tomorrow, I'll do one on Friday. Of course, we'll have Silly Saturday on Saturday. Y'all want me to play real politics? Real women in politics one time for y'all. Y'all want real women in politics one time? Okay, I got you. I got y'all. Hold on, cause y'all are just wanting real women in politics. Hold on, let me cue it up. Let me cue it up for y'all, cause I knew y'all need this in y'all life. I got to give the people who want you. Listen, got to give the people. Got to give them what they want. I got y'all. I got y'all. Hold on. Okay. Are we ready? Are we ready? Let's see if I can't get this. Okay. We ready? We ready? All right. Let's do it.
America presents Real Women of Politics.
Real women of politics.
Today, we salute all the real woman leaders of this great country.
Real women don't have to fake it.
Real women doing real things.
Real women work too hard for this.
Some big companies can't tell the difference between real and fake anymore.
Real people know the difference.
That's why we're introducing the Real Women of Politics koozie.
Real women of politics.
Now, you can salute the real women of politics at every backyard barbecue and tailgate. And if it covers up the label of a big woke company, well, that works too.
Real women of politics.
Order your Real Women of Politics koozie today.
Again,
And there you have it, people. Your real women of politics today. I'm almost inclined to play that America song that Tracy gifted us with, but I'm gonna keep some stuff for the members only chat. I ain't gonna do that to my members only. We gonna keep some stuff just for the members only chat. Shout out to all of the members. If you're not a member, become a member and you can be a part of the tomfoolery that is the members only chat. Um, Hit the like button, subscribe, all of that good stuff. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged. They're much appreciated. Don't worry, I'm gonna cut that out. I'm gonna cut it, and I'm gonna have it where all I gotta do is press the button, and it'll be infused as a part of the channel. You know, we got to do things like that. So we're gonna do that. Now here's the watch hating ass Sarah Huckabee Sanders might do some shit and do a copyright claim because I played Real Women of Politics because she's a hating ass whore that descends out of the bell tower at Notre Dame, Governor Quasimodo. Lord. Anyway, I'm about to get up off here. We about to go over there and watch Really B and see what she got for us tonight. That's all I got for y'all until next time. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.